Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today is an exciting video. We are going to be doing a first impressions with a new brand that I've never tried before. This is the Ace Beaute Flair palette. This is the look I created, so it's a very fun look and it's a very fun palette. It's quite jewel toned, a little bit of depth in it, kind of autumnal but colourful, and we love this, and there's a chartreuse in here, so I'm always happy with that. So I will preface this by saying this is the older Ace Beaute formula because I've actually had this palette about a year and I haven't actually used it yet, so I'm only getting around to it now. But this is the old formula. There is a newer formula, so I'm going to just be judging this formula. I cannot say anything about a newer formula. So far, I do like the palette. Is it my favourite in the whole world? No. But is it a bad palette? Absolutely not. It's still a beautiful palette and the colours are beautiful. They work really well. As you can see, I created this really pretty look. It's just I have other formulas that I just like a bit better, so there's nothing I can do about that. Is the newer formula possibly better and something more up my alley? Maybe. I don't know, maybe I will get another Ace Beaute palette in the future of the new formula. But I really like the colour story. It really draws me in. It gives me a lot of creative flow to it. I'm going to pop up swatches now as I'm speaking so you can kind of see everything a bit more up close. So there is only 4 shimmers in the palette, which I would probably like about 6 because there is 15 shades in the palette. And I would probably like about 6 shimmers, if not 7. But probably 6 would do me. But yeah, I would like just a little bit more variety with the shimmers, even the like light chartreuse, making that a shimmer, even just something to really amp it up a little bit more shimmer wise. But the mattes are beautiful, the depth is beautiful. I'm very excited about the more neutral shades in the palette. There is a mustardy yellow in the palette, more orangey tones, blue tones, a pinky purple. And I just think it's a beautiful, very well thought out colour story. I do also love the packaging on this. It's all foiled and stunning. I love it. So yeah, that's kind of the initial thoughts, and you're going to see how the colours actually perform and how I got this look as well in the tutorial. Before we get into the tutorial though, my Instagram is linked down below where I post all my up close pictures and full face pictures of the looks. You can see all the beautiful colours, beautiful textures in action and on, and how the look was generally created in picture form. Also, my TikTok is linked down below, so you can see that there, where I post all my funny weird transitions and all weird stuff there, so it's a lot of fun over there. So I think that's all I need to say about the palette so far. I think we should get straight into this tutorial. Okay, so we're gonna go into the first time using the Flair palette from Ace Beaute. I'm very excited about this. I've been waiting to use this for so long, considering I've had this over a year. And it's colourful but a little bit of depth to it, and I really like how it's looking. So I'm kind of feeling a little bit of these bluey shades down here, and this purple really stands out to me as well. So I'm going to do all these blues, this purple, and then this one here I think as my inner corner, just in a bit of a halo-y-ish kind of style, but nothing. You'll see what I mean. I'm going to use the purple on one in the inner corner, blue on the outer corner, and then the shimmery blue in the middle. So it's going to be a halo-ish. I haven't done my full skin or anything like that just yet. I have only done a little bit of foundation up here, so that way I could do my brows, because I like having my foundation in when I'm doing my brows. And I prime my eyes as well, which is all listed down below, but I will do the rest of my skin throughout the tutorial. So we're going to go in. So I think I'm going to go in with the shade Atlantis. This one here, the more bluey one. This is a bit more teal, so I want to go in with this one, and I might deepen up with the teal here. But I definitely want to start with the blue, and I want that to be the most prominent. So I'm going to use a V Cosmetics little smaller blending brush. I don't have a name or number for this brush. It's just a small brush that I got in the mystery box from them. But we're going to pop this on the outer corner of the eye and onto the lid a little bit. And I'm not worried about fallout because I haven't done any of my under eye anything yet. And we're just going to bring this through the crease a little bit as well. Don't need to leave a big gap in between because I want this to be quite prominent in the crease where the two colourful mattes are going to blend into each other. So that's just going to go halfway through this crease. And then because I'm not going to go in with another kind of blending shade to blend this out, I just want to blend the colour we already have down out. I'm just going to take a clean, slightly bigger brush, so I'll just show you. This is the one I just used, and then that's the bigger one. So we're going to use the bigger one, just clean, and I'm just going to use that around all the edges and just start fluffing that out. I'll also preface this by saying, which I already said, probably said in the beginning of the video, that this is the old Ace Beaute formula. I know they have reformulated, so I can't speak on the new formula. I can only speak on the old formula. yeah, that's what I'm using right now because I have this palette so long that they hadn't even reformulated by the time I got it. But it is blending beautifully, look at that. And there's a good bit of colour out of it. Like, sometimes blues that are that kind of intense in the pan don't come out that intense, they kind of dilute a little bit. But this one has not. So I do want to deepen this out in the outer corner a little bit more. So I am going to take Forest Pine, which is that darker teal sort of shade here. You can see the difference. A little bit more green, but it will add a little bit of depth to the look. I'm just taking it on the same smaller blending brush that we used to apply the blue that I've already got down. And then we're just going to build this in. I don't really want this to look teal on this outer corner. I just want, as you can see there, just to darken it. There is a little bit of fallout, but nothing major. Like, there's a bit more on this side, but I always get more fallout on the side because my brush is angled at a different angle, and sometimes it hits off my lashes when I'm applying it. So that's just that side of my face. I always get more on this side compared to that eye. Okay, so now I want to do the other part of my halo eye, which is the inner part in here. We're going to leave a gap in the middle for the shimmer. I am going to take Aubergine, which is that bright kind of purple with a little bit of pink in it, and I think it's beautiful. And I'm taking that on a Cash Beauty K07 brush, so like a pinch, like it's like flat but fluffy, so it's a bit of both. And I'm going to take that on the inner part through that crease as well, and then just sort of blending where it meets that blue in the middle. Don't over blend too much because the kind of blue that this is and the kind of purpley sort of shade that this colour is that we're using, they might muddy up a little bit because this has quite a bit of red in it and this has a bit of green in it, so you just have to be a little bit careful of the undertones. So I'm just getting the initial colour down and blending, making sure it's all nice and soft, and then I'm going to build that up. I'll say it's a thinner formula, so like it's quite transparent when you're putting it on. It's quite pigmented but quite transparent, so it does take a bit of building to get you to the colour that's in the pan. I wonder what the difference would be if I had a more recent palette of the new formula that's out at the minute. But you can see like a coat, like once you do like a second coat, then you're all good, you know. Okay, so I do want to get my lower lash line down. I'm not worried about blending right now. I just want to get colour down there in case there is any more fallout. So I'm going to go back in with the shade Atlantis, and I'm taking a number 7 smoky eye brush, just super teeny weeny little brush like this. Just want to try and build up a lot of the colour there. As I said, like, I am not using another blending shade for the bluey colours, so this is going to be technically the blending colour, but it is the most prominent shade. So I'm using this first, and we're just going to connect that on the outer corner and drag that about halfway. I'm not going to put any shimmer down on the lower lash line. I'm just going to do the 2 matte shades. Just making sure that it's connected out here, impactful, keep building, because I think that's what I have to kind of do with this formula, is just keep building. And then I'm just taking that same brush, I've just cleaned it off slightly, but it doesn't really matter too much. I'm going to take Forest Pine, which is the green that we used to darken, and I'm just going to use that mostly towards the outer part of this and right up against the lashes, just to deepen it, like the tops of the colours all match each other. The more I look at it, the more pink that purple looks. It's definitely a magenta more so than a purple as to what it looks in the palette. But yeah, I'm still quite happy with how it looks. And then going back in with that purple shade, the Aubergine, I'm taking this on a e.l.f. crease brush, which is just like a small little pencil brush like this. I always use it for my lower lash line because I prefer it. But I'm going to put that on the inner half in here and just meet them in the middle, kind of like what we did in the centre of the crease up here. So all your mattes should match top and bottom, should do the exact same thing. Definitely have fallout now, so I'm definitely glad I didn't do my base underneath my eyes or anything like that. So now we're going to go into some shimmer. So I'm going to take my NYX glitter primer to see how this works in my glitter primer, because this is how I would always apply my shimmers. I don't do it any other way, so I always like to use my glitter primer even in my first impressions, because that's my routine. So I'm going to take a little bit of that and we're going to pop that just on the center of the lid here. So now I'm going to take Bayberry, which is this shimmery kind of icy blue, and it is stunning. So I'm excited to see how the shimmers work in this palette now compared to the mattes, because I haven't actually even swatched this yet as I'm doing this. Ooh, that's pretty. That's going on pretty. They're kind of standard metallics, but they're definitely metallic. They're very shiny. This one has a bit of a duochrome to it. This has like a taupey kind of base with a gold shift in it. That's gone over that whole center right there. So the purple can kind of just be like a peekaboo from the inside. This shimmer will kind of blend more into the teal and blue that's on the outer corner. Okay, so kind of overlapped it a little bit with the purple and then with the blue on this side. So I'm going to start with the purple just to get that blend going, picking up a little bit more of the purple and then just wiggle that over the edge of that shimmery blue and go back and forth between the shimmery blue and the purple to get them to blend. And then take the smaller brush that we used with the blue and the teal. I'm actually going to do a dab of each one just to get a mixture in between them. And we're going to just blend this bit. This will blend a lot easier. The purple was a bit harder because the colours are so different, but this will be a bit easier because the colours are very similar. It's more so trying to get the texture to blend. That's kind of what you're trying to do. You're trying to make it so that way the shimmer will go in like transition straight into a matte very easily. So that's why I keep adding a little bit of each one. So you have twinkles that are just starting to fade out on the outside. Okay guys, so we're nearly done. I have one more step to do, but I'm going to tidy up and finish off the bottom half of my face, and then I'll come back and we'll do the last little step for you guys. Okay, so two little steps I forgot to mention. So I need to blend my lower lash line and then do an inner corner highlight. I'm going to take a tiny bit of Atlantis, and I'm going to take, this is an e.l.f. C brush, so an outer V kind of brush, but it's like a stubby flat brush that has a bit of fluffiness to it. Just taking a dab of that blue, and we're just going to blend out the edges on the lower lash line just on the blue side to match the top. Make sure your blend out here as well is all nice and it all goes together. And then I'm just taking that small little pencil brush that I used for the purple on the inner corner of the lower lash line and take a bit more of the purple and do the same, just re-intensify and make sure the edges blend nicely. Okay, now it looks a lot more polished. So I've had a little change in mind. So I was going to use this shade as my inner corner because this kind of shifts from like this like taupey sort of shade into a gold, but I'm actually going to use, because now that I see how like nice and icy that shimmery blue is, I'm going to use a bit more of Bayberry. I'm going to use that on my inner corner because that'll be a nice kind of tie into the lid and also contrast against the purple that's in there. So I'm just going to use the same like flat brush, which had no name on it, by the way. I forgot to say that when I was using it. There's no name on this, so I don't know where I got it from. But just popping a bit of that using that same brush in this inner part in here. Okay, so that is our look done. I'm very happy with how it's turned out. As I said, it's a thinner formula, so it's a little bit different for me to work with. I would be interested in maybe getting a different palette from them and in their newer formula to see if there's any difference to it. I can see where people might have a bit of difficulty. Some people do not like this older Ace Beaute formula. I can see why, but I don't think it's super hard to work with. It's probably not my favorite, but that's fine. We'll get into all that at the end, but I'm going to jump off. I'm going to finish off the eyes, do a bit of liner, lashes, cheek, lip, all that jazz. I don't know what lip to do with this. This is a hard one now. We might just go nude. I think that might be just easier. So I'll do that and I'll come back and let you know what I use on the rest of my face. Alrighty guys, so this is how I have finished off the look. I am loving this. I was unsure about the pink on the inside because I didn't think it was dark enough for the very inner corner. But now that everything is on, I've done a bit of liner, we've got a lash on, I think it looks beautiful. This is so pretty. This is like ocean sort of vibes, mermaid vibes, but like a brighter mermaid than my last mermaid that I did with the Glam Light palette. Yeah, that's the kind of vibe I was going for. So I'm going to quickly go through everything that I used on my face. So I did, for once, and even though this is somewhat of a halo eye, I did actually do a winged liner. So I used my NYX Vinyl Liquid Liner. It's one with a brush, you actually dip it in. And I used that to line my upper lid. My two liners, I used two for my waterline. One is Mainline from Urban Decay. It's one of their 24/7 glide on eye pencils. I used that on the outer half of the waterline where the blue is. And then for the pinky purple on the inside, I used the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Piggy Bank, which is a purple that leans into a pink as well. So they match perfectly. My mascara, I have moved on to the Clinique High Impact Mascara, and I use that on my top and bottom lashes. And then for my actual lashes, this is the very broken box. You can see there, this is all broken. These are the Iconic Minis from House of Lashes, which are stunning, and I love them on my eye shape. They're very pretty. Then on to cheeks. Very simple for the cheek. I used my Laritzy contour stick, bronzer stick in the shade Aloha. And yeah, I use that to bronze up the skin. And then I didn't do any highlighter because my blusher is like a blush highlighter hybrid. I use the Extra Dimension blush from MAC in the shade Into the Pink to go with all the cool pinky tones. And I popped that on to my cheek. You can see that's just the blush. That's how glowy it is. And then for lips, you can see I went for a very, very pale, soft pink. So I use the MAC lip pencil in the shade Hip and Happy, which is just a pale pink lip liner. And then my lipstick is Creme Cup, also from MAC, just to give us that sort of look. I didn't want to take away from the eye, but I also didn't want the lips to have no colour. I wanted some colour to be there, even though it is a very light colour. So that is our look. That is our first impressions using the Ace Beaute Flair palette. So my final verdict is not my favourite formula in the whole world. Again, I'd be very interested to try their newer reformulated version. But is it a bad formula? No, absolutely not. It worked beautifully. It's just different and not the best of my collection. One of my favourite formulas would be Kaleidos, Give Me Glow, even Huda shadows, like they're beautiful as well. So you're kind of going against those ones to match this. But I'd still be interested to get another palette from them, maybe their fall palette that they had coming out, because that's their newer formula. But I love the colour story, I love the depth, I love the colours that have been chosen to go into this. I really want to do something with this little trio up here, and I'm going to have to do something with that lime green. I would maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, a 5th or a 6th shimmer, maybe a 6th shimmer, so 6 shimmers in this palette. Maybe one of these be a shimmer, or maybe take that out and be a shimmer, or that one out. I don't know, because you can make this shade by mixing those two together. So maybe take this shade out and make it a lighter shimmer, or a pink shimmer, or something like that, just to give us a little bit extra shimmer in the palette. But I do think it's a lovely palette. Is it going to be like in my top 10 of all time out of my whole collection? Probably not, but it's still a really good palette. So that is my verdict. So let me know your verdict down below, and we can see what we all think of this palette. And if you like the look as well, let me know that down in the comments below. If you did like this video, then give me a big thumbs up. It's the quickest, simplest and easiest way to give me a little bit of support, get me around to more people, and also let me know that you like the video, and I will continue to do many more. We've so many palettes coming up this year, so hit subscribe as well down below. There's so many palettes that I already have. I have them all ready to go. That's not including anything I might buy in the future, which I'm hoping not to buy anything, but I have so many. And as I said in the beginning as well, don't forget to follow my Instagram down below and my TikTok down below, where I post weird things on TikTok and all the up close pictures of the looks on my Instagram. And I'm going to try and get into more like palette swatching over there, maybe some IGTV tutorials as well over there. Some fun things hopefully coming soon if I get a chance to actually do them. So I will see you in the next video, guys.